So, like, I think it's over in, I don't know, bro, Brazil or something, where they actually get bonus tracks. Bands will literally make full songs that you cannot get anywhere else unless you're in that zone. And then eventually they maybe release them on Spotify, but, like, unless they put out a song on a special album that I'm unaware of, I got no clue. I have no idea. I have MR. What the fuck is a Facebook clone? I got no idea what that is, dude. Is that even... What is that? Damn. This guy's kind of losing a lot of CS, although he did get a kill top lane, but... Probably not gonna get cannon, he's gonna win wallet. Oh, he didn't, wow. Thank God I held that fucking W for goddamn forever. Because that shit was tight. That was too close. Way too close. I'm like, there's no way he's gonna hold win wall for the whole thing. Let's do this. Can I go AP? Well, the timing was tight. It was too close. I had like gold card for maybe 1 second longer. It was basically expired when I threw it. Usha, thank you. Or user, sorry. That shit is too close for comfort. Too close. The W buff did kind of save me, yeah. I mean, everything Twisted Fate gets is just justified, bro. This is such an OG champ. They forgot about this character pretty much forever. Shit play rate, but people like the character, and people don't want to play him because he's too hard to play. He's just weak. His numbers were all bad. His kit's good, but his numbers just sucked. I should have stunned him. This guy doesn't even do damage. Well, TF is just... He's an honest old character. That's all he is. He's just... honest. Honest champ. I didn't see how low that guy was. I actually just flashed the wall. He flashed the wall and he was full HP. How did he get that dash off? You serious? That range? It's kind of bullshit, but unlucky. Oh, I haven't seen the new Death Clock movie. Where did they put it up on? It's not Netflix, right? Who owns Death Clock? Isn't it like some... Isn't it Adult Swim? Is that it? Does Adult Swim have like their own streaming service or something? Because I'm not going to be buying it if that's the case. I'm done buying streaming services. I got Disney Plus and I'm good. $10 a month, that's it for me. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. We should try... Oh, he's kind of... He's... That fucking card, man. It sucked. I used the rice cooker recently. That shit was good as fuck. I used it today. Super good. I've been making so much food lately. I've been making like grilled potatoes, veggies, rice, chicken, beef, just a bunch of shit. Every time I'm hungry, I'm just like, okay, let's make food.
Serve or die. I don't care if the others like you.
I'm about to blow.
Dear God. Eric, thank you. Fiddle's probably mid. I'm leaving after this. Oh, no, he's a dragon. Well, I don't really care about Arena anymore. Honestly, they ruined it. The player base ruined the game. They made it very, very, like, annoying, because everyone would just play the most obnoxious shit. God, I didn't press R. Like, I was a pretty big advocate for the arena until I found the most annoying things to fight, and I'm like, this isn't really fun. When everyone just goes super greasy tryhard in a for-fun game mode, it's like, why even bother? I can do something else with my time. It was super dumb.
You dare slack on my ship?
Big grease in.
Hannibal, thank you, man. I've played... For Honor was actually pretty cool. I'm surprised For Honor kind of like... What happened to For Honor to the point where it didn't work out? Is it just because of like the Uplay bullshit? People didn't want to use the system it was on? Like, For Honor was badass. That was a cool game. It had a pretty cool system, too. It wasn't too shitty. They added too many broken characters. Oh, sounds like League. It was a little... It was intense, though, for sure. It was a little intense. But that game was cool. That was a cool game. I'd love to see a Warhammer Fantasy game based on that. A Lord of the Rings game. Like, anything in the fantasy world put into the For Honor game, like, gameplay would be really, really cool. T-Money, thanks, man. Imagine, like, playing a Dwarf Slayer and another guy's playing, like, a fucking Orc War Boss or something, like a Black Orc, and you have to fight like that. Oh my god, it'd be sick! That'd be so cool! For Honor had cool gameplay. And it had, like, executions and all that shit, too. Like, yeah, it was a good game. And it would make sense, though, because in For Honor, they had a bunch of body types. It wasn't just everyone was the same size and whatnot. You know, there were literally different classes, and people were hulking, and people were smaller and shit. Like, you could totally throw that into fantasy and make it work. Absolutely. You could do a bunch of stuff. Put the humans, the elves, the dwarves, orcs. Fuck, that would be so badass. And then you add quotes, you give them the Total War voice actors. Oh my god! And then you keep the executions, and you keep the blood and the gore, and you make it, like, mature rated, and everything is a serious, like, tone. And it's gritty as fuck. Ay, 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 bro, that'd be so sick. That would be so fucking cool. Yep. And you could play, like, you know, team battles and shit, but it would have to be good versus evil. So, like, you'd have the Empire and the Dwarves, and, like, I don't know, the High Elves at one point, and then you'd have, like, the Orc raiding parties, and maybe if you got a high enough kill streak, you could be a troll, a stone troll. Oh my god! And then the Dwarves, you could, like, imbue your weapons with runes and shit. Oh my god! That's so good. God, I have so many good ideas. Holy shit. That would be bad fucking ass. That'd be so cool. And the cosmetics would be through the roof. Holy fuck. There's so much shit you could do with a game like that. Yeah. And you could, you know what's even cooler about that? Is you could actually add the AI as well, because you could have, like, it would just be so easy to do. It would be so easy to do. You would play as, like, captains or kind of just a higher up type of what you are, you know? Or you could be the grunt, but, like, for the sake of campaign, you know, you wouldn't really be the grunt because everyone else around you that's an AI is kind of the grunt, right? You could have, like, hordes of Skaven you're fighting as a dwarf, like, yeah, nah, I'm gonna have a heart attack. This shit is good. Why can't people do this, man? Where is fantasy games? Why are we getting... Actually, to be fair, Age of Sigmar deserves one game. They deserve one W. I think Total War is probably the best Warhammer fantasy game outside of Vermintide that you're gonna get. Dude, give me $1 trillion and I'll start a gaming company and I'll hire everyone who did For Honor and we'll make a Warhammer fantasy game like that. And we'll go after all the voice actors who were in Total War and Vermintide, and we'll make it like the most immersive Warhammer fantasy fighting game ever made. That would be sick. That'd be so badass. Imagine if you could play as named characters. Dude, what if it was like a Battlefront thing where, like, again, with enough kills you were able to bring in, like, a troll or something, but, what if you played, like, the good guys and... Or any faction, for that matter, I suppose. And you brought in, like, fucking Gotrek, or you brought in, like, Karl Franz, or any of these motherfuckers, like, yeah, damn. Yep, that would be sick. And then he wields Galmaraz. Oh my god, that'd be so cool. But it's in the For Honor playstyle. You gotta remember that. It's in the For Honor gameplay type of, like, melee combat. So you've got, like, the up block, left block, right block, down block, etc. You know, you can swipe different ways, like... Holy shit. That's gotta be one of the coolest fucking, fighting systems for a sword and board type of game. That was cool. That was so cool. Maybe there's mods. Do people mod For Honor? What if you modded it to be Warhammer Fantasy? There's no mods? Unlucky. You get banned from Ubisoft if you mod it? Why? The game would be better. Why would you get banned for making the game better? Maybe they should come out with skin packs. Dude, what if it was a fighter slash, like, slight RPG type of game? Because every race kind of has their own traits and perks. So there was kind of, like, the roleplay element where you would be able to, like... modify and tweak your characters to just be slightly different, you know? That'd be cool. Or maybe I guess everything would be passive buffs. It'd be a little weird to kind of, like, tweak certain things. But it's so fucking easy. It'd be so easy to do that. Like, elves are just all about agility and being fast. And, they're extremely hard to catch. They're very nimble. And then you got dwarves who are like the big chunky motherfuckers who take a shit ton of hits and hit like a truck, but they're so goddamn slow. You got the orcs who are all about, like, toughness and brutality, so shit tons of damage, and then... shit tons of damage and kind of taking a bunch of hits. Like, dude, you could really go to town on that shit. But I mean, all of these fantasy universes can easily be adapted into games like that. Like, let me ask you this. Imagine a Warhammer 40k Dark Souls-esque game, or a Warhammer Fantasy-esque Dark Souls game, Like, these are so easy to just think up because the universes are so damn good, and you know the content of the game that it would be part of, and it's like, well, okay, it would just work really well. Anything Warhammer in a grand game like that would just be... That's just crazy. That's money. That's big money on the table. Well, the boomer shooters are much easier to translate because that's not as hard as making something like Dark Souls or making something like For Honor. Dawn of War 1 might be the best Warhammer game? Absolutely not. Maybe the best 40k Warhammer game or Space Marine, but it's not the best Warhammer game. It's the best old Warhammer game, I guess that's the best way to put it. The Dawn of War franchise, the series of games, 1, 2, and 3... 1 and 2, not 3, were extremely fucking good. 3 was trash because they tried to make it of the times and they tried to push it into an esport because esports was on the rise and, you know, the company was like, okay, let's bring Warhammer into the mainstream and make it more like a MOBA, like an RTS as well. It just was trash. It was too colorful. It didn't look like Warhammer. It functioned more like a MOBA. It was just ugly. It was ugly and bad. The voice acting was good. There was a 40k game that was pretty much an arena brawler. Eternal Crusade, was it really? They actually did make a Warhammer 40k MOBA where you could play as, like, orcs and, like, Space Marines, I believe, and it was straight up like League of Legends, but that shit failed so hard. It was really weird. But then again, a lot of Warhammer games will fail because Warhammer at the time was pretty niche. Warhammer was super, super niche. And although it's not as niche now, like, it's clearly hitting, you know, the mainstream. It's in Walmart. Henry Cavill's making a whole fucking show about it. Like, it's getting there, but it's not there yet. I mean, the problem with Warhammer, and the reason it's taken so long to kind of become mainstream, is it's kind of like... It's hard to... Like, at least for 40k specifically, Warhammer Fantasy is a little more lighthearted. You know, it's pretty grim, but there's a little bit more lightheartedness than 40k. But it's a universe that's kind of not for everybody because of how aggressive it is, right? Like, you look at Star Wars, you look at Lord of the Rings, you know... There's humanity in that. And it's not that 40k can't have humanity, but, like, 40k is just super serious. It's a super serious universe. And some people just don't want that. Which is understandable. I don't entirely want all of that, but, you know. Probably before Christmas, you'll get the old world. Yeah, Horus Heresy is depressing. 40k is just all depression. And that's fine for the setting, because it makes sense, but, like, I just prefer fantasy. I really do. Fantasy, to me, is number one. Then it would be... I'm just going to put Fantasy and Age of Sigmar together, because it's just a continuation, so... The, And they just jumped me. I think The Witcher... The reason The Witcher kind of took off, though, as well, is because the games were such a big success. Whereas Warhammer never really had a breakthrough game that hit like The Witcher did, you know? Warhammer never really had big shots at fame through gaming, through movies. Warhammer was always extremely hard to, like... To access, Because it was a miniature game that was hugely paywalled and expensive as fuck. It was a bunch of books, and how many people get into books, you know, especially for a hobby that's super niche, or was niche at the time. So it just wasn't popular because it couldn't get out there. It couldn't make it big with a big game or a big movie or any of this stuff. But like, it's getting there. Companies are picking up the license and actually making really good fucking games. I mean, I would say the biggest impact Warhammer has ever had in terms of gaming was Warhammer Total War, right? Like, the Total War people, CA, took the license, and they made it really damn good. They did justice to the Warhammer license. Pretty much like what Dawn of War did, but 10 times better and 10 times bigger. And because of that, they literally brought back something they threw away 15 years ago. You know, Games Workshop, they're like, we're not making money off this. It's dead. Fuck it. No one cares. They destroyed it. And all because of a game and the fan base crying out that they want it back, they actually brought the entire thing back from the grave. Never would you have ever thought that that would have happened, but
I don't care if the others like you.
60 month 5 years.
I'll do one more game. Nunu, thanks, man. But that's what it is. That's just what it is, man. Warhammer's on the rise. It's definitely much better than where it was before. It's more accessible. People are more interested. I mean, the internet's so big now that, like, if you want to look up anything and get into anything, just give it a Google search and you're done. You don't have to drop a shit ton of money to play the game anymore because you have Tabletop Sim. Like,